like me.
I don't know about magic.
Hi, the internet. Welcome to the What Else Show. I'm your host, Robert. This is Bethany.
Hi, internet.
Today we've got a brand new What Else movie review for you.
Movie
Bethany?
review, yes.
Movie review.
Movie review.
Bethany, what movie are we reviewing today?
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep, the sequel to
The Shining.
The Shining, the book, The Shining, the movie, we think. Starring Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor himself.
Ewan McGregor.
You and me and McGregor.
All right.
Bethany, give us a synopsis of this sequel to The Shining.
Okay, so also this will be a spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free review.
No spoilers.
Not a one.
No spoilers. So just a high-level synopsis. We catch up with Danny Torrance after all of the events of The Shining have happened. So about 20 years goes by. So we catch up with Danny as an adult, and we kind of follow along as he deals with having his gift, and some adventures thus ensue.
His past comes back to haunt him, literally.
His past comes back to haunt him, literally.
All right. What did you think of the movie?
I loved it.
You loved it.
Yes. So I was nervous because I don't like scary movies, and The Shining I felt was very scary.
We had to see it during the day because you're a coward.
Yes.
We had to see it first show.
Yeah, we went and saw it like 11 o'clock a.m. By the way, I'll be following you around the house for the next few days. So I was a little bit nervous because The Shining, the original Shining, really freaked me out, gave me the willies. But I ended up really enjoying this movie, loved it. I do love Ewan McGregor, so I was really excited. But at the same time, I was really nervous because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to handle it. And there were times when I had to shut my eyes or stare at the floor. But it was just fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was very well done. I thought the story was easy to follow. I didn't find it confusing. I was worried I might be confused about the plot, just because it's been so long since I've seen The Shining. But no, was not confused. It was pretty clear what was going on. So I really liked that. I thought the acting was fantastic. I thought the dialogue was great.
I enjoyed the movie as well. I don't think I liked it as much as you. For a movie that's a sequel like this to such an iconic movie, I'm always going to compare this movie to the original.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm comparing this movie a lot. I liked this movie. I liked the plot. I liked the story. I liked most of the acting. The only thing this movie doesn't have, well, actually, they're actually both very different movies. I was about to say the only difference, but they're pretty different movies.
They are.
The original is more of a psychological kind of horror thriller, and this one is more of an action horror. Nope. Action thriller. I don't think there's a lot of horror elements.
There's not. And I think maybe that's why I enjoyed it. Is you okay? Why I enjoyed it so much, because the first one does have that horror quality, right, and this had a lot more story, and I became much more emotionally invested in these characters than I ever was with the characters in the first one.
The original gives you more of a sense of uneasiness, more of a sense of dread. This one never really gets to that point where the feel of the movie changes your mood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This one is a little bit I don't know it creates less of a mood, this movie. Yeah.
What about, like, we were kind of talking earlier today, right after we saw it, and we were talking about how the first one makes you kind of uncomfortable
Right.
to be there. And that was something that was kind of missing
Right.
in this movie, because, you know, you're watching the events of the original Shining and you just kind of feel like uncomfortable and like, well, nervous. Yeah. And then some of the stuff the characters do is just like, it's so cringeworthy.
Right. There's that feeling of isolation.
Yes.
In the original.
Yes. And this movie was kind of the opposite, because Danny in this movie, you know, he interacts with so many other people.
Right.
It doesn't have that sense of isolation that the first one had. But I think that this one has other qualities that the first one didn't have.
Sure. They're two very different movies.
Yeah, they are two very different movies, but that doesn't mean that like one is necessarily better than the other, at least in my opinion. I'm sure you probably feel differently, but I don't think that one is better than the other. I think that they go together.
Yeah, I think one is better than the other.
Yeah.
Right. You're right in your assessment.
Yes. But I do feel like I loved it. I thought it was great.
All right.
I thought it was
Well,
great.
you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and rate it.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5
4 out of 5
with a recommendation.
with a recommendation.
Somebody like me who is a total wuss and hates scary movies. I think if you kind of have that sensibility to scary movies, I think you might end up really enjoying it. I did tear up. There were a couple scenes that really did make me tear up. So it really evokes a lot more emotion than the first one. So 4 out of
More than the
5.
first one.
Yes, a lot more than the first one for me. That's just
All right.
for me. Because the first one I do a lot of looking away and like I can't watch this
Oh, yeah.
and this is awful.
This is a much better movie for cowards.
Yes, this is a great coward movie. So 4 out of 5 with a recommendation. That's my rating.
My score is actually also a 4 out of 5
Oh.
with a recommendation. I really enjoyed the movie. Try not to compare it to the first one so much. I mean, it is a continuation of the story, but the feeling of the first one is not in this movie. I also think that it doesn't get a 5 because it runs a little long. And some of the characters I don't like that much. But other than that, I think it's a fun watch at the movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Yep.
4 out of 5 with a recommendation.
Thoroughly enjoyed
Same
it.
score.
Yep.
Did you think it ran a little long?
Yes, in a couple of spots.
In a couple of spots.
In a couple of spots. I don't want to give spoilers.
That's not how running a little long works. But
I feel like there's a few scenes that could have been better served cut a little bit shorter.
sure.
Yep.
All right. That's it. That's all we're saying.
Okay, that's all we're
Don't
saying.
want to spoil it.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
That's
You can follow the show at What Else Show on Twitter. You can send us an email at thewhatelseshow@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram.
Still waiting for my hate mail.
At The What Else Show. Bye, Internet.
Bye, Internet.